Earlier today, Cardiff City released their first ever kit in partnership with Castor. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my full review, the pros, the cons, and everything in between. So let's get right into it. The introduction of this kit officially means New Balance's reign with Cardiff City is officially over, and obviously Castor has been stepped in. So I thought before we actually get into the review of this kit, I thought we could look back on some of the older New Balance kits, starting off with the 22-23 home kit. Now, when this kit was released, it was received quite well. Obviously, a really nice classic blue base mixed in with a nice thick white V-neck collar, no sleeve cuffs or anything, blue shorts and blue socks, which did look a bit weird when the players were wearing them, especially if they were wearing Under Armours. It kind of looked like a bit blue onesie with a nice white collar at the top. I do really like the pattern in the base, which is obviously a repeating pattern of the Bluebird. It's kind of embossed and a bit shiny. Although I think to make it better, the white shorts, some nice sleeve cuffs, and maybe to thinnen up that V-neck collar would have been a bit better. Moving on to the 23-24 home kit as well, which was obviously very famous for Aaron Ramsey returning to the club. The kit itself is okay. It's obviously got a weird pattern in the base, which doesn't really mean anything. Some nice simple blue sleeves, which are kind of separated with piping between the two. A nice little collar, which kind of gets smaller towards the bottom, and a nice button as well. Nothing special about this kit, not that much. Again, blue shorts as well. Last season's kit, which is 24-25, was our 125th anniversary kit. Obviously, a bit of a lighter shade of blue for the base, as you can see, and obviously a nice chevron going across with a beautiful little badge. This is probably the best New Balance kit that they made. Not much else going on. Nice thick white sleeve cuffs, and obviously a return to white shorts as well. The 25-26 home kit, which, although it wasn't a brilliant kit, it was a pretty standard kit. It was obviously going to go down as a very historic kit, beating our points tally with 91 points, I think it was. Obviously the pinstripes, nice classic blue, nice thick white sleeve cuffs, and it's a pretty standard kit. Obviously the 26-27 kit was kind of like leaked a couple days ago by the club officially. Obviously we could only see the back of it, and from what we could see, we could kind of tell what the front was going to be like. Obviously, it used the same template as the Preston home kit, which had already been released. So we could kind of see that it was going to be a bit of triangle on the front, and maybe even some yellow in the collar. That obviously matches up with the leak that was also leaked a while ago, having a bit of yellow in the collar. And also the nice Welsh flag and 1899 on the back. In my opinion, picking one of them would have been a bit better. I think the Welsh flag and the 1899 looks a little bit too much. It looks a bit too square. But either picking the Welsh flag or the date would have been a little bit better rather than both of them. But with the Welsh flag, it does mean a return for the flag on the kit. Obviously, if you didn't know, there was a lot of Welsh flags used in the kind of 2000s era for kits, either in like some sort of label or like a little sewn-in tag or something, which I was a big fan of. Obviously, it does kind of show a bit of identity almost, which I'm a big fan of. But the kit itself is a very different one to what we've been seeing for the last couple of years. Obviously, with New Balance, they didn't really use templates that much. It was more very simple ones. This one is very different. Obviously, you can't really see it in some of the pictures, but they've got a bit of white under the arms. Obviously, the main part is the bits of white on the sleeves, and also the nice collar as well. Obviously, you couldn't see it from the back, but I really like how it kind of comes down and kind of fades back into that blue bit. With that also continues. I think that looks really nice and really matches well with the triangular panels. Also slightly thinner sleeve cuffs, which I think do match well nicely with the collar. Obviously, for the last 2 years, they've been doing some really thick ones, which I do like. But I really like when the kind of width matches up with the collar. I think that looks really good. The blue is probably one of the best blues we've had in ages. I think it's that perfect. It's not too dark. It's not too light. I think it's the perfect Cardiff City blue. The one glaring issue about this kit is obviously the brand. Cardiff announced Castor as their new manufacturer a couple months ago now, and the community didn't really take it that well. Obviously, Castor don't have a brilliant record when it comes to the quality of their kit. There's a lot of peeling and bad quality and ripping, and there's a big video about it, which I'm a big fan of. Definitely go check that out if you want to see some examples and kind of what's happened. But I do think that Castor have had a big kind of lift in their quality since then. That was about 2 years ago, the last reported incident. Whereas this, I think, it's a good place for them to start back in the Championship rather than going for the highs of the Premier League. I think they've done a good job here, to be fair. I think, obviously, the quality, you can't really talk about it because it hasn't even released. It does come out tomorrow on sale. There's not an actual price yet. The price hasn't been revealed. So I probably will buy it, though, because I do really like this kit. And I was going to say, the more I look at it, the more I like it, because I am a big fan of this kit, actually. Comparing it to other Cardiff City kits from the last couple of years, let's say 10 years, This is definitely one of the highest ones. I think, you know, the 24-25 one's got to be up there. The 19-20 one, even though it probably wasn't from the last 5 years, is definitely up there. There's a lot of good ones in there. You know, this Premier League one is also very nice as well. But this is definitely up there. I think I've got to go like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Obviously, not with all football kits in the world, but compared to those kits, it's very nice. As a normal just football kit on its own, I think it's probably a very mid kit, maybe like a 6 or a 5. But like I've said, as a Cardiff kit, it is a very nice high one. I think this does work extremely nicely for us. I think it does work well. Anyway, that's all I've got to talk about for this brand new kit. I'm a big fan of it. I'm really excited to see what the away and third kits are going to look like. I'm really hoping for the third or the away kit to be a nice yellow. All the kind of points are directing that way, so different, you know, the yellow parts of the away kit. We're not really sure if it's going to be between these two kits, but one or the other are going to be the away kit. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.